Hello, gifted ladies. Hope you all are doing wonderful. Hope you all are having a powerful day. I wanted to pop in. I'm going to leave this message here. I don't have a whole bunch of time. I got to get ready to go out. And I'm tired. And I look the way I feel. I'm exhausted. I am in school mode. School is officially started and it's killing us parents. It's killing moms. It's killing dads. It's killing people on the street who are driving crazy. School is killing us, but that's not the nature of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So here's the deal. I want to tell you something that happened to me this morning, and it has been on my mind. Has been stirring up. It has been an issue that I have been trying to avoid talking about, but I'm just going to put this out there and hope for those of you who either look like me or know other people who look like me who are in this arena, that you are very mindful of how certain things can relay themselves. So I don't want to hold you up with a long story, but last week, I was in the gas station. I forgot, last week, Monday or Tuesday, and I was getting gas. And while I was getting gas, a gentleman with a Mercedes-Benz across from me was also getting gas, but he was coming out of like the place that has the chips and stuff, like the store part, and it was raining heavy, and I didn't want to get my hair wet, LOL. And so I was with my son. We were going to go get some shirts for school, and this guy just looked over randomly. He started talking to me. This is very common where I live. It's a very small part outside of Charlotte, so people just know each other. I could see that he wasn't from these parts. He probably had gotten off of an exit, needed some gas or whatever. So he just starts talking to me randomly. He just asked me about the flag in my car. We start talking, and he starts, and he's a man of color, and he starts immediately kind of doing this thing where I don't know how to describe it, but it was like, more important than you kind of thing. It was like, yeah, I'm a dental hygienist, and I'm a this, and I'm a that, and I do this, and I do that, and and he was just like overly braggadocious about himself. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to think anything of it. So he asked me at the end of, listening to what he did, he asked me what I do, and I just said, I do a little bit of diversity and inclusion training for women here and there. And I'm on somewhat of a sabbatical. So he was like, yeah, I got this conference I want you to speak at in, I think it's November 23rd. And he says, I got this conference I want you to speak at. This would be great. I want to talk to more women of color who are working in the dental profession. I want these women to be able to learn from you. So I'm just like listening. I'm not thinking two things of it. He gave me his business card. I went home. It was a really bad day. Like what I tell you, it was raining, like rain was going sideways. So I get home. I had some things I had to do because my son had his first day of school the next day. That was Wednesday. So I emailed him out of kindness, but also just to figure out where we were going with this conversation. I hate to leave people in a place where I said I would commit to something, but I don't know what's going on. So fast forward. I sent him this email. I sent him, in the email, I said what I do. This is my website. And this is my marketing collateral for speaking is not on my website. It is a separate page someplace else. So I sent him that just in case he wanted something for consideration. He said he had to go to someone else to get an approval, So he contacts me Sunday night, but I couldn't meet him Monday. He wanted me to personally meet him. I couldn't meet him Monday. I had a whole full day of real estate stuff. So this morning he reaches out to me 6:00 in the morning and says to me, hey, Carol, so yeah, I got everything, and yeah, let's talk about the budget, and I want to make sure that I got you all tied up because I want you to be able to speak. I want you to be the first session speaker, and it's a dental hygienist conference. Now, first of all, I said, what's the date again? He goes, November 23rd. I said, that's a Saturday. The way my situation works, I don't do too many Saturday engagements, so my fees are a little bit different on weekends than they are on the weekday because I don't do Saturdays. And he's like, well, why you don't do Saturdays? Don't worry about my personal business. Worry about your own. But I didn't say it to him. I'm just saying to you, I don't work on Saturdays. So we start speaking, and I realize we're about to go south because he says, let's talk about the budget. Let's talk about the budget, Carol. I want to make sure I got you squared away. And it sounded like the same conversation we had the week before. So then we started to get into the conversation about money. I said, I don't want to waste your time. What is the budget you're working with? And I'm going to tell you right up front whether or not I'm coming or not. He goes, it really wouldn't matter what the budget is. It's local. It's for exposure. And the moment I hear exposure, and those of you who are in this group who know me, and you know I hate the word effing exposure, like I can't stand it. You know why that actually irritated me. So I said, okay. So shortly after he said exposure, then he goes into, yeah, I want to get you squared away, Carol. I want to get you squared away. So, and I said, well, get to the point. What is the budget you're working with? Because I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to, I can't stay on the phone long. Ooh, this is where I gotta pray that I don't cuss. So he's like, yo, I got $100 for you. $100. Parking in this particular parking garage where this particular event is being held is almost $60. That's just parking. That's just the parking. Like, welcome to Uptown Charlotte. This particular building is about $60. If I were to take an Uber there, it'll still cost me about $35 or $40 because I'm right outside the city line. And then you have the nerve to tell me something about, I'm confused. Why do you? You don't want some more exposure? I said I sent you all of my marketing collateral. I think I paid my dues in the practice arena. And if you hadn't read my bio, he says I read it. It was impressive, but $100. He said, I'm one of the keynotes and I'm making $400. And I said, oh, okay. So here's my message to you ladies. We as women of color got to get really serious about this, because here's where I struggle with our value. It is that if you take something small today, someone else cannot ask for what they're worth tomorrow. And I'm completely invested in this. My whole issue is there should never be a standard where $100 and someone try to sell it to you as if it's really important that you settle should ever be a standard that we actually come up with. That should never be something that we take. We don't have to take small. We don't have to discount ourselves. We don't ever have to get to a point where we're sitting around and we have to take $100 here or do something for exposure here. Like I'm being honest, and forgive me if I sound angry, but I get sick of seeing women of color taking small opportunities just because we are anxious to be in front of people to take pictures. I'm getting sick and tired of someone saying to me, you got to do this for exposure. We don't have to do anything for exposure because no one else does. We're the only group of people who pay to play, and we pay to play long term. I am sick and tired of seeing women who look like me pay to play just so they can look like they're taking exposure. When I said no and he looked at me, the way he responded on the phone as if, I guess other people have done this. Good for them. But I know my value. And if we are sitting in rooms where we're consistently undervaluing the level of our expertise and the level of our mastery, what we are is allowing other people to do is we're allowing them to go out and do what they want to do and pay other people full price. But we are okay with a discount. Didn't I just tell you? This man was driving a Mercedes-Benz, newer. I have an SUV, but newer than mine. And then you tell me about $100. It's going to take me $60 just to park my car. I'm doing all of this on a Saturday and leaving my family for $40. Now, this is just me talking. I'm not worried about me because I know that if I say no, that I'm doing it for my future great-granddaughters. I don't know about you, but my problem is this. I see too many of us doing whatever we have to do to pay to play, to be in people's spaces because we think someone is more important than we are. We think that labels are more important than we are. And I'm not just talking about Gucci and Fendi. I'm talking about we think that the label of being a speaker or a commentator, we think that these labels are more important than we are. And we discount ourselves to say yes, just so that we can then start playing to the level of expectation that we think that other people want to see us at. I get sick and tired of seeing women of color pay to play. If I say this once, I promise I won't ever say this again. Calm down, Carol, because I'm about to preach. It pains me. It absolutely pains me to see women of color discount themselves. It pains me. It absolutely pains me to see women of color in rooms that don't have value. It absolutely gets on my nerves. It pains me. It pains me because when I say I know my value, there are very few people behind me that look like me that say I know mine too. Or if they do, they play a good role. But when it's time to actually say how much do you charge, you're still charging $100. So when he said, Carol, I'm offering you $100, somebody else has done that before. He didn't just come up with that number. So I kindly had to say, no. And then he says, well, what's the number you going to get to? I said, just to leave my house on a Saturday is about $8,000. I am not leaving my family on a Saturday. That's just not going to happen. That's not the way I roll. My Saturdays are filled with cooking. Lots and lots of cooking. My Saturdays are filled with my husband and my son. We try to do the mall thing, Chick-fil-A. We try to do things that we can do with the little bit of time we have. And if I'm going to spend that giving it to someone else, there's a fee for that. Ladies of color. And I really mean to say all women, but I have to say women of color specifically because some other women know their value. But ladies of color, women, beautiful caramel brown people that you are, my issue will always be that we don't have to accept anything and pay to play anybody in order for us to be golden and beautiful. We just don't. But if you continue to play that game, they're always going to say that we're not worth it. And we're always going to have to go and accept what we can get. We always got to settle for what we can get. We can settle for, okay, I just want to get in front of some people. It's never the right people because you ain't making no money from it. And for the most part, you're entrepreneurs who are not getting to the next level because you settled at some point at this level. I just want you to get past that. I was so glad when I actually hung up the phone. I'm so glad I hung up the phone and I was mad for a second, but I realized that is not his fault. Somebody else that looks like me took that opportunity and will gladly start making up flyers and say, oh my gosh, I speak at the National Dental Association. We could do better than this. It pains me. Like I said, if you discount yourself now, somebody else will pay the cost later. Somebody else is going to actually pay the cost later. It may not be today. It may be with your future great-grandchildren, your future generations who look back and realize what you've done. We don't have the right. This is 2019, my love. We don't have the right to play small, and we don't have the right to allow other people to tell us what we're worth. We don't have that right. You must be mad. You have to live and own in your power and be in your truth and say, look, no, no, not, let me think about it. Let me see what I could do. Let me put up a GoFundMe and see if other people will invest in me. Say no. Say no. I'm worth blank. Thank you for your time. Hang up the phone. Stop responding to the emails. Stop chasing the opportunities because there are 400 people in the room. Let me tell you something. If you go to an event and there's 400 people in the room, I guarantee you 390 of them are not even your target market. So what the heck are you there for again? So stop. Stop. Just stop. Because at the end of the conversation, you kept saying, well, you'll be in front of 1,000 people. Good for them. Good for them. Good for them. My hair alone costs more than $100. And I do it every Friday like clockwork. It's looking bad now, but it was looking good last Friday. It's just falling. That's all it is. I don't retain curls well. But yeah. So I just wanted to say that. I wanted to get on my soapbox, get that off my chest because it has been paining me all day. I haven't really been able to think since this conversation because I'm thinking to myself, a man of color looked me dead in my face and said $100 and said it with a grin like he was doing something for me. You must be mad. You either do it for free or you do it for your full fee. You don't do anything for a discount. Free or your full fee. There's no in between. No discounts. Love you ladies. Gotta go. See you soon.